وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم التي جعل الله لكم قياما وارزقوهم فيها واكسوهم وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا وابتلوا اليتامى حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح فإن آنستم منهم رشدا فادفعوا إليهم أموالهم ولا تأكلوها إسرافا وبدارا أن يكبروا ومن كان غنيا فليستعفف ومن كان فقيرا فليأكل بالمعروف فإذا دفعتم إليهم أموالهم فأشهدوا عليهم وكفى بالله حسيبا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Yesterday we had started doing the translation of the meaning of the fifth ayah of Surah Nisa, wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that do not give wealth to the feeble-minded. So in perspective, Al-Mufassirin have given two meanings of this ayah. One is a general meaning that money or wealth should not be handed over in the custody of feeble-minded people in general. What does that mean? If somebody has wealth and their wife wants to take control of their wealth and they know that their wife or their children, somebody from their children, is not apt of taking good care of that money. So just out of love, we should not depute our wealth over to our wife or our children and then become qallash and muhtaj and dependent on them, and they spend the money foolishly, and then we are sitting idly looking up to them for money, or we don't have any money as a family. So one meaning is that, and this is a tafsir of Abdullah ibn Abbas, and a lot of ulama have gone with this tafsir as well, that this is a general command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that do not hand over wealth to people who cannot take good care of it, essentially. In perspective of the previous ayat, if it is taken, then it means that if a yatim child is still feeble-minded, and that means that they have not reached adulthood. We use the word adulthood in English, but the word in Arabic is bulugh, or becoming baligh. But baligh itself means reaching to a point. Reaching to what point? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained in the next ayah, and that is the definition of bulugh. So that is one thing that we should understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, أَمْوَالُكُمُ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to the amwal or the wealth as a means of support for you. So from this we should understand that amwal, whatever sort of wealth, whatever assets we have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world of means, because this is a world of means, everything is connected with means. We do this, there's a cause and there's an effect. There's a cause and there's an effect. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world has connected a lot of things with mal, with wealth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is saying, Allati ja'ala Allahu lakum qiyama. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it a means of support for you. The Prophet ﷺ has explained in detail what should be our relationship with our wealth. One thing is excessive indulgence in wealth. How do we know what is excessive and what is permissible or preferable? Number one, if in attaining wealth somebody goes beyond the limits set forth by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that will be by definition excessive love of wealth, and that is impermissible and despised. Secondly, if that wealth has become everything for that person, how do you find out that it has become everything for that person? When that wealth is making that person go against the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or when that wealth is being used against the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then again it will be called excessive love of wealth, or excessive dependence on wealth, or excessive connection with wealth, whatever. But the Prophet ﷺ has said that for a pious person, richness or being rich is of no harm for a pious person, somebody who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another thing is that Prophet Sufyan Sawri rahimahullah, he's a pious predecessor, he has explained it that in previous days, in the early parts of this ummah, wealth was considered a hazard, absolute hazard. But in these days, and this is Hazrat Sufyan Thawri rahimahullah, who was one of the pious predecessors of this ummah. He is saying about his time. So imagine what will be the state of us. He is saying that these days I see that storing enough wealth that one can sustain and have enough means for their foreseeable future is actually preferable. And the reason is that with very little things, upon very little things, for example, somebody does not have a good ride, somebody does not have a good house to live in, people are ready to give up their deen. People are ready to give up their deen for a very small, insignificant lack of facilities. Therefore, he said that I think that in my time, I feel that having enough wealth that somebody is satisfied and content about their future is actually preferable. Is actually preferable. If I remember correct, he has used the word that this mal is actually a shield for him, a shield for his iman. It is actually a protector of their iman. In our times, you can very obviously see it that a lot of times people who are having a hard time. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ has said that muflisi, or being having meager resources, very meager resources, drives one even to kufr, takes them away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even to kufr. So to have that kind of wealth wherein one's iman is safe, one is content about their future, that is actually preferable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is saying, Allati ja'alallahu lakum qiyama. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it a means of support. So what should be done if the yatama who are not baligh yet, and the definition of bulugh is explained in the next ayah, then their mal, their wealth will be stored with their caretaker, and they will tell them that this is your wealth, tell them a good thing, which is give them consolation that your money is safe with me, and I am only waiting for you to become of sense, come of age, and then your money will be given to you. So the right time, the actual time of deputing over the wealth of orphans to them is when they reach bulugh. In the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحِ. Test the orphans until they reach a marriageable age. So herein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the definition of bulugh, and which is حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحِ. Whenever they have the capacity to be married. What does that mean? When they have the physical and biological changes in their body which enables them to be married, to perform nikah. That is the definition of bulugh. That explains two things. Number one, bulugh is when somebody has the capacity to become married. The second thing is that as soon as somebody becomes of that age, we should be concerned about marrying them. That is the command of the Prophet ﷺ, recognition of the Prophet ﷺ as well, that whenever your children become of age, of bulugh, start thinking about their marriage. Achha. فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ, then if you perceive in them proper understanding. So this is another thing. Once an orphan has become baligh, then if you perceive in them rushdan, that they have reached proper understanding, فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ, then أَمْوَالَهُمْ, then return to them their amwal, their wealth. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah has explained that one thing is somebody reaching bulugh. If somebody is, for example, a neuter, that they are never going to develop that capacity of nikah, then the age in Sharia is 15 years. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, for both boys and girls, the age is 15 years. But Hazrat has said that even when somebody reaches 15 years of age, or when an orphan reaches that age where they are able to execute nikah, even then there is people who have, from the effects of their childhood, is still a lack of capacity to handle money. So still, before giving them their wealth, they should be judged. And Hazrat has said that these effects of childhood, which may remain beyond bulugh, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُ رُشْدًا, if you find in them capacity to be able to handle their financial affairs, Hazrat has said that another 10 years to a maximum, which is the age of 25. By the age of 25, even if somebody is still stupid, even then their money has to be given over to them by the age of 25. Between the age of 15 and 25, there is an area where they can still be judged. So the first thing is to start judging them before they reach 15 years of age or the capacity to perform nikah, make nikah. If somebody finds that they have the capacity to handle their financial affairs as they reach bulugh, their money should be distributed over. If their caretaker sees that no, they are still not ready, they still have stupidity from the effects of childhood. Not some people are just generally stupid. It's not their something from their childhood, but they just are feeble-minded. If that is a person, then he'd be given his wealth or they'd be given their wealth right at bulugh. But if the effects of childhood are still continuing, then another 10 years after 15 can be waited, and at the point of 25 years, فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, their money has to be given to them. Another thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning is that another smart thing people try to do at that time is وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا أَن يُكْبَرُوا. Do not, before they reach this age, do not start consuming their money excessively, for the fear that when they turn of age, you will have to give the money to them. So use their money before they reach that age excessively, so that you don't have to give that money, and in fact you use that money. Don't do that. وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. The best thing is that the caretaker, if they have the means of their own to sustain, فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ, abstain from using any of their money. Abstain from using any of their money. وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا. But if you are faqir, if the caretaker is himself very poor, فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, then they can consume the money. It is called haqqul khidmat. The service that you are doing to them, that you are providing for them, that you are keeping them in your home, for that service you can take a small amount. فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, then when you return their money, then you should فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, when you return their money, فَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, also have somebody become a witness for it. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ حَسِيبًا. And in reality, even if you have a witness or if you don't have a witness, the real one who's going to take hisab from you is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One final thing is that another accessory side masla, that ruling that is driven from this ayah that is written in the Tafasir, is that somebody who's doing some service for someone, they can take their rightful amount of money for that service. Mufti Shafi rahimahullah has written under the explanation of this ayah that there's people who are involved in public service, for example, or for example the Khalifa of Muslims, or the administrators of masjid, or anything that is doing public service. These people, when they are involved and they are dedicating their time so much into that service that they are not able to do anything. The beautiful example is of Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, that when he became Khalifa, the next morning he had his stuff on his shoulder and he was going to the market. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu came and asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to the market. So he said, if you are going to keep involved in your business, who's going to take care of the Muslims? So he said that if I don't do business, then who's going to take care of my family? Because I have a family to serve and protect and to feed. So then they both went to the caretaker of Baitul Mal, the general commonwealth of Muslims. They both went to him, and then whatever was an average amount needed for a muhajir to survive, for a Muslim, the kind of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq in a way, whatever was the average amount that was needed for their survival, it was given to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu monthly. That was decided for him, and he was dedicated to take care of the affairs of Muslims. So from this ayah, another masala that is driven is that people who are involved in public service, they can be given from public money that amount which is the average for a family or a person like them to survive, that is needed for them to survive. But again, the ruling that remains is وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. Even among those people who are rich, for example, we see in these days that not-for-profits, People who are running them are very rich. They don't need to get money from that their not for profit, but they're also drawing salaries. That is not preferable in Islam. But if somebody is poor, then they can derive from the not for profit whatever they are running. For example, a mosque, a charity, a Muslim charity, whatever. Then they can draw a salary, but only that amount which suffices for their survival and the survival of a general family or a person like them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the people of Quran and give us an understanding of the Quran. Those people who understand Quran are special to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among them. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen.